Yeah, with that being said, though, do you think, you know, economically or even just socially, there's a problem with black people sticking to their own? Because it seems though, like as you mentioned, a lot of other groups, they have their businesses, they have their economics and their ways of working together in unification. Now, some may say, there's no unity or black people can't get together, but then others say every time blacks try and get together or do stuff, other people either want to home in and get involved or capitalize or try and make a greater benefit off what's happening without putting in that much input to it themselves. So do you feel, because there's a stigma against like black people sticking together, and the thing is, like, you hear a lot of other groups when they speak of black people, they say black people, but when you start talking and saying black people and it's just a group of black people, sometimes people get nervous. And like we've seen it with like Black Lives Matter and stuff, we've seen people's response like just to black people grouping together. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, well, that goes to show you, it says in the scriptures, man, when your enemy tries to take you off in the nation, they try to have this facade, man. I mean, come on, you cannot expect your enemies to do right, bro. Some people was born corrupt and some people was born wicked, man. It says in the scriptures, too, if you read this verse, it describes these people down to the T. It says, the wicked come estranged from the womb speaking lies. And so the Most High gave us the owner's manual, and that is the Old Testament. And so we have to follow these commandments, man. We can't go on emotion. We have to follow his commandments. That's why our ancestors was ran out of after they fled, and they had was persecuted by the Most High and by the other nations because we are under the curses of what our forefathers did. And so to answer your question, brother, we have to we can't expect our enemies, man, to do anything good by us, man, because that's their jobs to try to destroy us. So like I said, the Most High telling us what we need to do. We need to separate from these people, man. But the Most High is going to do it. We got to separate from them spiritually. And then once we do that, then the Most High is going to start breaking them down slowly for sure. Because you see what's going on. We're living in a critical time right now. The earth is entering into a new age. And, and so human beings are getting worse and worse. And so we living in some times now, and we are at the boiling point right now. So this information here is very, very essential. And so, these people, man, are not our friends and all, brothers. So, we need to focus on meditating, praying more, and letting the Most High put the curses on them because people are obviously trying to cut us off from being a nation, and they're plotting as we speak right now. And so we have to counter that by definitely, sharing messages and information like this and letting our people get some daily medicine. You know what I'm saying? So that's what T-JUDA and Neutron bringing right now. And I'm pretty sure y'all got a lot more content coming. And you know what I'm saying? And that's the highest way to be, man. Because I tell you, man, stuff like this, it's unfortunate, though, that a lot of people seems like with the way YouTube and social media try to play with the views. But you know what? They can't stop the Most High work. We reached 1 out of a billion people, bro. We did our job because the Most High has got some plans. So you can't expect your enemies, brother, to uplift you, man. That's how they operate.
No, that's peace. We appreciate definitely the call in and the check in. You made a point that I just want to get some context for our listeners. You say when dealing with certain types of people, wicked or corrupted people, which I think everybody should agree is a bad thing. Now, well, society appears to say, even though hypocritically in a lot of ways, but they appear to often take that stance. But my point is, if that's the stance that we're taking against wickedness, and you said people need to separate themselves spiritually, could you, like, let's say for a listener who may just be listening and be getting new into this information, and they say, okay, how do I separate myself spiritually? What would you suggest in terms of a suggestion or a pointer for?
Yeah, well, what you want to do, man? Anyone that's trying to do a spiritual cleansing, you definitely want to, just do some research. Go, take the time out, man, to meditate more. And you definitely want to, just reflect to find out who you are as a human being, what's in your spirit, You know what I mean? So when you separate yourself from this world spiritually, you definitely it's about you not worried about the physical things, or you're not worried about the money. So we need it in this reality. We're not gonna make that the whole basis of our existence. So yeah, man, we separate ourselves from the physical material things from this world, man. Now I looked it up right here. Now, see everything that we work that we want to learn, man, we can look that up. You know what I'm saying? Spirituality, in a way that relates to or affects the human spirit or soul, as opposed to material or physical things. They are not connected spiritually through a sense of purpose. You see what I'm saying? So that's what we have to do. You know what I'm saying? Because these other nations use that materialism, and they try to come in our community. They know a lot of us, the way we've been oppressed. You know what I'm saying? Then we was brought in this system. You know what I'm saying? Forced in this system. The word for that, you know what I'm saying, is indoctrinated. Yeah, they say mind is terrible thing ways. But anyway, so our people, they come in, oh, look what I got. And so our people be so busy focused on the materialism instead of us realizing we need to utilize these resources, man. Because right now, that's why I'm glad we got people like us that's putting information out there. So these people been using materialism to try to brainwash our people and make them making bad decisions, rash decisions. So they make a decision and then they end up in a world of trouble. They about what I got myself into. And not knowing to say that, we can have our heaven on earth too, man, but we don't want to do it the way these wicked people are doing it. We need to start teaching our people how to go about trying to keep the commandments first, and then the Most High will manifest some things too.
Yeah, interesting. Now that's a great point, and I think people will be able to digest that. And as you said, it's about doing your research and your due diligence. Especially in today's times. I know there's a lot of censorship, but the information hasn't been completely shut down, so you can still do your own research analysis and take your time out to get into the vibe and groove that you need to be on. So that make a lot of sense, because I know we're gonna have people that gonna want to gonna listen and maybe think, okay, well, how can I set myself apart? And I want to make another point, just slightly in closing, prior to closing, because you say a lot of other groups or people or individuals utilize materialism against us. However, a lot of them are still very privy, more so to a lot of spiritual aspects of life, even if they don't disclose it so much, because a lot of true spiritual teachings is often done, in secret or in quiet, because it's a sacred thing. So and some of them, they have a lot of spiritual knowledge as well. Some good, some bad. Like, things can be used either way. And I want to make that clear to people. So even spirituality, it can be used, in a light way, in a dark way, good or bad. However, people can moralize it, but some of these things are like tools that people use. It's like a knife. You can use a knife to kill somebody, or you could use a knife to cut bread. So it's the tool itself has multi-functions. So even with spirituality, there's layers and levels to it. And I just wanted to touch on that, because I feel as though a lot of other people don't necessarily get into the aspects of spirituality that they follow and understand with black people, because as you said, for the most part, they see you as culturally not at that point of understanding, or just being more on a material scale, because due to historic events like the transatlantic slave trade and things of that nature, and colonization and globalization, and constant oppression, since then, people ain't necessarily firing from that cylinder. Now, some are in conscious communities and stuff, and different groups.
Like, it's a small remnant of people in these other ethnic groups, man, that understand. And them are the ones that's hard to find. But I mean, it's some that will come to the table and have this kind of dialogue. But the masses of the people, bro, they don't want to get it, because they too busy.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I just wanted to make it clear, because some of them definitely understand some of the spiritual aspects, and I'm not pointing fingers, but a lot understand some of the darker aspects, like witchcraft and just using spiritual
Yeah,
magic in different ways and stuff. So and if we look at scriptures, it does teach us this, even going back to, the book of Enoch and stuff, and it teaches that, when the Watchers, they taught different individuals and different people down here different ways of how to just work certain forces. And although we know that there was the fires and the burning of all the books and a lot of ancient knowledge, there's still a lot of remnants that exist within people and cultures, because things have been passed down, and ultimately, some of it hasn't been passed down to so-called black people in some ways, and that was just, I just wanted to make that point.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're right. Like I was saying, it goes back to the scriptures. It talks about when you have enemies, your enemies are going to do whatever they can and try to oppress and destroy the people. And unfortunately for them, man, the tables is going to turn on them. And we talking about generation after generation. And but a lot of the men in these being a ringleader, and they are, what I'm saying, brainwashing their children, and it's like they lead them with a false doctrine. They not really telling the people the truth. Like when they had these conversations, just like in these high schools, they got this system. They teach a lot of the kids of so-called black descent. They teach them that they were slaves, this and that. But see, they don't open up all the layers. They don't say, well, why did they become slaves? What really happened prior? What happened with their forefathers? See what I'm saying? So this whole system is flawed, and they know what they're doing. So, that's why we have to counter that. And now that you got more black media on social media, and we are breaking these people down, we are kicking their tail, man. I could go and use some other words, but I'm actually being nice. We is kicking their tail with a capital T. And we cutting them, bro. We cutting them. They bleeding right now, brother. Spiritually bleeding. And so, we gonna definitely, expose a lot of these people, especially a lot of the men, because the men are the biggest hypocrites in the world. See, they've been brainwashing people so long. They walk around and beating their chests, and they doing this and that. But at the end of the day, man, righteousness overrules the wicked any day. And so, the Most High just he's assembling his army, his troops. You know what I'm saying? And so, the good guys in the end, the good guys got to take it back, and that's what we're doing right now.
Yeah, definitely to make it clear, because we're in critical times and stuff right now, and it's definitely about people coming into the light and not being stuck in darkness. And darkness just, it's like being in the dark, not having the foresight to see what is around you and what's going on around you. So it's definitely good that we're putting out vital information and stuff, and
All praises.
and we know it's said in the scriptures. We know that the Most High, definitely, if one thing that is disdained, it's hypocrisy and it's hypocrites and stuff. And
Yes, sir.
so with that being said, I'm gonna give a scripture, which is, first chapter Peter, and it's verse 2, and it says, so put away all malice and all deceit and hypocrisy and envy and all slander, and and we're gonna come to a time where we hope to see that happen with a lot of people who enact out malice on the planet, act out deceit, act out hypocrisy and envy against others. There will be some comeuppance for that.
Yes, sir. Like it, bro. And like you said, man, it's in the scriptures too that there will have to be blood shed. That's war. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna have to be war in order for it to be peace, man. And that's what we are looking at right here. Because the Most High said it's time to heal, kill. It's time to love, and it's time to hate. So, yeah, they said, you know what I'm saying, it could get pretty ugly out here, but that's all right, though, man. Hey, for a whole generation, I think it's well worth it. We got so many cowards that want to sit on the sideline and they want to look at our work. They don't want to get involved. Of course, we know we're not going to go out there and we moving smart about how we do things. We had a lot of people that sacrificed themselves in the past. Some say, oh, well, y'all, you had a lot of the people, man, JFK, Malcolm X, and all them dudes, man. I mean, they just put themselves in a line of fire, but that's what happens when you have these movements, man. You know what I'm saying? Now,
Yep, some people become martyrs, Yep.
yeah, so we definitely moving more smarter than them, man. But see, one thing about them men, they didn't put the Most High in their campaign, but that's all right though. Like I said, God got a time for it and plan for everything. So yeah, but yeah, man. So, but I just thank the Most High for giving us the strength and the energy, man, to wake up. Because we definitely opened up some layers and we definitely sent some shock waves out in the universe. And these signals have reached out in the universe and the cosmos. And believe it, they are sending signals, brother. And don't be surprised if you go on YouTube and you see some unidentified ships that's hovering over this planet right now. Just check YouTube later on, man. I guarantee you're going to see some ships that's probably going to be hovering, probably some chariots hovering around the UK and probably the US tonight. So they listening, they get them signals, man.
Yep.
So yeah, it's real, man. So little do these people know, they don't really know what they're up against, man. They military eventually, it's in the scriptures that they're gonna try to fight against the Most High and they're gonna end up getting annihilated. So we know how these people think. So they're gonna try to fight the Most High and this chariots in there, and they're all gonna eat it. So but yeah. But it's all good, brother, man. This is an honor, man, to be on here, man. And, we definitely in some critical times, some serious times with the vaccine. Didn't it say in the scriptures, man, that what these people were trying to do with their New World Order with this vaccine push? Is that true? You said that, dude.
Yeah, well, I mean, it definitely speaks credence to some of these things. However, I think we will save the vaccines and stuff like that for a different time, especially with current censorship and things of that nature.
You're right
to end on a light topic, you mentioned about the looking up in the skies, and I want to end with a quote from Owen Wilson from the movie You, Me, and Dupree, man, and he says, that's okay. I'ma stay loose, stay liquid, laugh a lot, but be ready. That's what Dupree's doing in his life, little pods, staying nimble until I get the call from the mothership. Then I bite and you'll see Dupree coming in here throwing 7 different kinds of smoke. Boom, bam, boom, boom.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man.
And that's how,
out there, bro. They spotted a similar ship hovering over, it was hovering, I think it was somewhere in the UK, man. It's the metallic disc, bro, with some lights. They found some stuff out in space, man. The Hubble telescope.
I mean, the minister and the messenger spoke many years ago about what they may some refer to as UFOs, or some may refer to as Ezekiel's wheel, or the wheel, the mother plane, the mother wheel. Some say there's been a wheel over their head for a while, and there's only so much that can be done from people on this planet to be destructive before, outside forces with higher jurisdiction will have no choice but to step in. So maybe the cosmic order of the Men in Black will make themselves aware to us, and But yeah, with that being said, peace to the family. I want to say, hope we didn't answer, enough questions for y'all, gave y'all some insight and some stuff to think about. Definitely be sure to like, share, subscribe, leave some comments and stuff. And if there's any topics you want us to discuss, just drop a comment, let us know, or, send a message, and we'll take it from there. Peace.
Take care, bye.